Ladies and gentlemen, DCA fans alike, my name is Hakeem Johnson, DCA commentator, and I am here for a one-on-one exclusive interview with a man that has had a lot on his mind and has spoken out many, many times recently in DCA programming. I am here with the one and only Malik Brown. Malik, how are you doing today?
Better.
Understandable. Well, let's skip the pleasantries and let's just get down to certain questions here. Let's start off with this one here first. Let's ask about the elephant in the room here, D-Wall, the former owner of DCA here. Why was he let go?
Already, huh? You want to know that damn badly, like everybody else?
I mean, it's uncensored. I mean, let's just get right to it.
All right, fine. I mean, shit. I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about my job, so fuck it. Darius, why was he let go? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because he decided one day to not just show up after one of the biggest events that ended up being what he wanted it to be, and it didn't.
Can you expand on that? What do you mean on that?
But you know, Kim, it's funny how everybody in that locker room right now wants to say that they are just so loyal to D-Wall. Like, oh, we follow the man. We know what he's about. He's our friend and everything, but yet they don't see the actual writing on the wall like me or Lucinda or anyone else did. Okay, Revelation's last rites. What do you remember about that night, Hakeem?
I remember the fact that it was a very controversial in certain cases event that a lot of people still talk about to this day.
Exactly. It was an event in which everything D-Wall thought he had, everything Darius Wallace had lined up, his little ducks in a row, he thought was going to be okay. A lot of mistakes on his part, a lot of things that should have not been done or could have been handled in a different way and weren't handled in a different way. And because of that, he lost some people. He lost the crowd. And in the end, like a certain famous wrestler, Darius Wallace lost his smile. And with that, he walked away.
Wait a minute. I before you even continue, are you solely blaming D-Wall for everything that transpired from that event, or is it simply the case that there were certain forces within that event that it was out of his hands and control? Maybe he was burnt out. Do you think that was the reason?
I'm not blaming Darius for what happened at Last Rites, okay? Mm-hmm. No. See, contrary to what everybody thinks, I fucking love the man, all right? Because let's be real. If I didn't, I would have left like everybody else left that night. But I didn't. I stayed. In a company where everybody wants to cry about loyalty and brothers and sisters, goddamn, I was the most loyalist one because I stayed through the crazy when I could have just left. When everybody else that I knew could have been like, yo, Malik, you need to pull it back. No, I stayed. Darius was burnt after that. He didn't have the passion. The passion was drained out of him that night. He didn't know what to do. He was stuck, right? He was stuck. He didn't know what to do. So you know what he did? He walked away from it. Everybody called him. The board of directors tried to get a hold of him. Lucinda tried to get a hold of him. I tried to get a hold of him. Everybody that was part of DCA tried to get a hold of him. Nothing. Mm-hmm. And the only people that really knew what really happened or what was transpiring that night were me, Lucinda, and the board of directors. And the board of directors themselves said, you don't tell this to anybody.
So then let me ask then, so why now? So then why do you feel comfortable, to air all this out now when you had this months in advance to tell the world that we're asking questions about his whereabouts?
Well, because I was in a situation where I couldn't. I mean, it's kind of hard to really, let's be real. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to think this is bullshit, but even in chaos, there's some sort of order to it. Simply put, my job was on the line if I were to say at that point, but considering this place is in mass chaos and the board of directors are slowly unraveling at the seams, and everybody that is anybody's got a stake in the company, I figure, what the hell? At this point, let people know. Let them finally figure out what was obvious for about a month or so now.
Okay, and I want to ask you this in front of everybody that's watching this exclusive interview right now. Do you know where he is, and is he going to show up anytime soon in DCA programming?
No, I don't.
No, as in you don't know where he is, or no, as in you're not going to tell us specifically where he is?
No, as in I don't know where he is.
Okay, that's fair enough then. Well, then I want to move on to another topic. Then I want to ask you a little bit of a question here. Last season, you were the DCA World Champion. A lot of people doubted you. A lot of people questioned you during your entire reign as champion. And I want to ask you, and I understand that you were going through certain problems, personal and professionally. I want to ask you specifically, where did, between that title reign, where did it lead you to where you are right now in terms of mentally and physically? Where in that reign did it just evolve to where you have become more outspoken, per se?
Ask Atlas if you get a chance to. No, what happened was after I lost the belt, I was cool. I mean, I did what I was supposed to do. I held that belt longer than anybody expected me to hold it. And I did a lot with that title.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of that. It wasn't until Smokey came back and he was having that thing with Casey and everything kind of went down. And when a month or so later down the line, when I kind of spoke and aired my grievances about CCL, that kind of still was permanent in people's minds. So then the Great D shows up, right? And that match for redemption happens, and all of a sudden Zack Starr gets it in his mind to do the same thing. So he attacks him, says point blank, I don't affiliate with Malik, but me and him agree on one thing. And so next thing you know, everybody in the back thinks, oh, wait a minute, maybe Malik and Zack, they got something going on here. You know, nobody's really thinking at a time except one person. One person is thinking this shit out loud. And so all it takes is a pissed off Smokey to start questioning the loyalty of this place, because he's asking where the fuck was his backup? Where the fuck was anybody that this locker room that calls themselves a family, that calls themselves, you know, loyal to one another? Where the hell were they when he was in the shelf for like 5.5 months after he got ran over? Questions that, right? And so what happens? Oh yeah, Atlas Jones comes out and mocks. He mocks this man's injury. Mocks the fact that he was injured. And I mean, let's be real, literally questioned his manhood because he got ran the fuck over. And not only that, he brings my name into this. He brings my name into it. He brings Zack's name into it. But more importantly, he brings my name into it. When I was trying to stay the fuck out of it. Keep myself quiet, right? Because, I mean, contrary to popular belief, I was keeping myself quiet. Yeah, I know I had this on me, right? Yeah, I know I had the fucking secret. I knew what was going on, and I tried to keep quiet about it.
So you personally felt insulted. You personally felt offended towards the fact that your name was being mentioned when you had no intentions initially to even be involved with this whole situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
I had no intention of being involved in any of this shit. In fact, I was trying to fucking help behind the scenes and see if I could bring the man back. But no. See, what happens is my name gets mentioned, and now it's like, okay, the one fucking guy that was there for you, the one fucking guy that actually was there for you was hoisting the DCA flag and respecting every fucking guy on that roster. I now suddenly get backhanded? by
Right.
Atlas fucking Jones, a guy I had respect for, because he couldn't fucking keep his little frail ass ego in check and get all pissy because Smokey called him a bitch, because his loyalty got questioned, because a little military honor in him got riled up because loyalty got questioned.
So you feel that for everything you've done for DCA, and I will be admittedly honest that you have done a lot for DCA, but your loyalty to DCA, what you have done publicly and privately for DCA, with Atlas Jones coming to you, in your own words, disrespecting you, is that why people feel that either you're justified in the actions you've taken, or that you're still in the wrong because there were other options to take this whole situation?
Everybody is going to think what they want to think. There's going to be people that are going to believe I'm in the right for what I did. And there's going to be people who are going to say I was in the wrong for what I did. And quite frankly, I'm at that point where I don't care. I dug my grave, and I'm going to make sure I take everybody with me at this point. Because when you're in a situation where you're doing everything, and then somebody just comes out and drags your name in the dirt after you spent so long trying not to be in the dirt, because you know what's going to happen. So it happened. And so now everybody starts saying, so then, yeah, I shot off. I got pissed off, and I spoke, and I in the nicest sense, I dropped a pipe bomb and told everybody what I thought of them.
Right.
And that just fueled the fire even more, right? Because now at this point, I'm like, I'm not a part of it, but now since everybody wants me to be it, I'm going to be the fucking middle. I'm going to be the main thing in the middle. Since everybody wants me to be a part of it, since everybody thinks I am one of the reasons D-Wall is gone. Also,
Right.
like I said in the interview, Atlas Jones plays the idea of being the right-hand man. I was his right-hand man.
Right. And so let me then ask you this then. So with all this pent-up frustration, whether people want to say justified or not, so you have now kind of created a murderer's row of all-stars within your faction, if you will. You have Smokey, Zach Starr, Danny Gibbons, Tyler Parks, Sapphire Jones. You guys go by the industry standard, and a lot of us, you included, a lot of people know what the term industry standard mean, and politics be damned in virtual wrestling. Certain people are applied to that term. What is the end game with this group that you are formulating, and what is the end game for you personally when you're moving forward here, not just in DCA, but in virtual wrestling in general?
You want the truth, or you want the
We're unfiltered here, Malik. We're not here to sugarcoat anything, right?
Right. Truth of the matter. When I formed this, I told everybody the truth. I told every guy in there what the main reason is.
Mm-hmm.
Darius, because I know you're probably going to watch this wherever you are. Either you come back and take control of the baby you created that everybody else is bastardizing right now, or I pretty much just burn the whole fucking thing to the ground. Because if you think what the Blacklist is doing or what anybody else is going to do is bad, oh shit, you have no idea what goes on in my head, and you have no idea what I can do to just burn this fucking company down. I will do it. The end.
Wait, you're saying you're willing to burn down this company to achieve your objective? Is that what I'm getting at here?
If Darius Wallace won't come back to the thing he created, if he will not buck up, get back on the goddamn saddle after what happened, and realize that shit like this is a daily thing, I will throw this place into more chaos than you've ever imagined. You think this shit is tame? Like, this shit is tame compared to what I'll do. I will go the extra mile, and I will break this place further than it's ever been broken before. And I got a bunch of guys that are willing to do this for me, who know the reason. Yes, this group is about setting a standard, but the biggest thing we are doing, we're just going to burn this place and everything in it.
So like you're trying to be a martyr or a vigilante or a villain? What are you trying to necessarily be here in this game of chess with DCA?
I'm being whatever they want me to be. It's like this. You want me to be the hero? I can be the hero. You want me to be the villain? I'll be the best damn villain you've ever seen. Because while this whole company is playing Russian roulette with one another, I can either be the bullet that will be the savior, or I can be the bullet that will be the ender. Whichever.
So you've pretty much reached a crossroads, not just for yourself, but you're pretty much given an ultimatum to D-Wall and DCA to either right the ship or let the ship sink.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right.
I mean, that's, I mean, personally speaking, I don't know if that's the right way to go, but I do agree that your aggression is somewhat justified if that's where you're coming from. Malik Brown, just one more question. I want to ask you one more question actually before we wrap this up here, but you have accomplished a lot here in DCA and in virtual wrestling. Is there any way, not now, but maybe in the near foreseeable future, is there any way that things can, and I want to choose my words carefully, is there any way things can go back to the way they were before all of this, quote unquote, happened?
That's a nice little fairy tale, ain't it? I think that's what everybody wants. But you know the answer to that.
I mean, I honestly don't. I'm asking you, Malik.
I wish it could. I really do.
Well,
but it won't. Even when all this is done, it ain't gonna be the same.
Wow. Well, in any event, I do want to thank you for taking the busy schedule that you currently have. I want you to thank you for giving me the free time to give you, to interview you, excuse me, personally. And as always, you're always unfiltered. You're always unapologetic. And that's why a lot of people respect you for it. Hopefully, whatever you look for in the future, hopefully gets accomplished. I hope it just doesn't create anything that can do a lot of detriment to a lot of people involved here. But Malik Brown, I want to thank you for joining me here tonight on this exclusive interview.
You're welcome. Hi, Darius.